Coming up, the winners of the Stromberg competition have been announced, how one team emerged as the fan favorite of the competition.
And the government shutdown is continuing on. What to expect if there is an end in sight?
All this and more right now on Newswave. Good afternoon and welcome back to Newswave. We hope you all enjoyed your fall breaks. Today is Friday, October 24th. I'm Baden Russell.
And I'm Kiara Taylor.
October 14th, 2025 was this year's conclusion of the 10th anniversary of the Louis H. Stromberg Venture Competition. Competing against 3 other teams, Handy Door emerged as the winner and fan favorite of the competition. Co-founded by Nathaniel Troxel, a junior finance major, and Zadrian Huerta, a senior business analytics major, the Handy Door is a device that remotely opens and closes doors. It is geared towards people with mobility issues and the elderly. The product was a culmination of efforts from students, software engineers, independent living facilities, and other partnered businesses. Troxel commented, quote, "We couldn't have done it without them. They got our initial prototypes off the ground, and they kept us running," end quote. When judges announced the winners, competition organizers increased the usual grand prize of $25,000 to $45,000 for the first time ever since the event's inception.
On October 9th, the Mental Health Extravaganza was held at the Coates Esplanade for Mental Health Awareness Week. This event saw Trinity's mental health organizations and resources band together, including the Active Minds Organization, the Trinity University Volunteer Action Community, and the Hidden Opponent. President of the Active Minds Organization, Senior Alessandra Finot, commented that while organizations have, quote, done a great job highlighting disparities on campus and how students can access resources, but there can be more improvement in bridging these needs that students have and resources they might still not be aware of, end quote. According to the Helping Services Programming Coordinator and Active Minds Advisor, Deschanel Higgins, the event aimed towards reminding students that, quote, that support is always within reach, and that seeking help is a true sign of strength, end quote.
A plumbing issue at the Coates Library earlier this month forced a temporary closure of Starbucks for required maintenance. The Trinitonian reports that Trinity Facilities was forced to clear a clog that had developed in the pipework at Coates Library, which resulted in the release of odors from a grease trap, prompting Starbucks to close early. According to the Trinitonian, this issue has arisen before within Starbucks, with student workers expressing hopes that the issue has permanently been addressed. Carlton Hendricks, interim director of campus operations, stated via email that, quote, facilities will continue to monitor the situation to make sure that the issue does not arise again and is fully resolved, end quote.
Coming up, information about early voting across the state of Texas and how you can vote.
And your weekly weather update from our chief meteorologist.
Stick around, we'll be right back after this short message.
Get a life in which you're generous. Realize that life is the best thing ever and that you have no business taking it for granted. Care so deeply about its goodness that you want to spread it around. Once in a while, work in a soup kitchen. Be a big brother or a big sister. All of us want to do well, but if we do not do good too, then doing well will never be enough.
Welcome back to Newswave. Early voting is already in full swing and will last until October 31st. For this election, Texas voters will decide on changes to the Texas Constitution, city elections, and school voter approval tax rate elections. The deadline to register to vote was October 6th, and the deadline to request a mail-in ballot is today, October 24th. Election day will be on November 4th. On that day, polling locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mail-in ballots must also be received on postmarked on November 4th at 7 p.m. To check if you are registered, you can go to votetexas.gov. Due to the courtwide polling place program, you can find the nearest polling place on the Texas Secretary of State website. You need a photo ID to vote. Be sure to research and grab a photo ID before getting to the polling place. We at Newswave encourage you to vote in our local and state elections. It's finally starting to feel like fall, and our chief meteorologist, Luke Morton, has your scoop on if the cool weather is here to stay. Take it away, Luke.
Hello everyone, happy Friday and welcome back to Newswave. I hope you all had a good fall break last week and I hope your midterms went well. This past week has been pretty warm and sunny. In fact, last Monday got up to 96 degrees. Yikes. Alas, I have some pretty good news in the weather department for your next week. First off, we might actually see some rain this coming up weekend. We haven't gotten a drop of rain so far this October, so some rain in the area certainly will make the plants and our water bills happy. We should see a widespread line of rain and thunderstorms entering our area beginning tonight and tomorrow morning from roughly 2 to 5 a.m. So be prepared to possibly be woken up on Friday night. The weather should clear out by sunrise Saturday morning, and the rest of your weekend should be very nice with highs in the mid-80s with partly to mostly sunny skies and lows in the low 60s. The humidity shouldn't be too bad either. The beginning of next week looks to be warm but still nice with highs in the upper 80s, and starting on Wednesday we should be getting a bona fide cold front in our area with perfect weather in store. The weather on Wednesday and Thursday should be amazing with highs in the mid-70s and lows in the 50s. Enjoy this weather, you deserve it. Halloween should also bring spooktacular weather with highs near 80 and lows in the mid-60s. Anyways, I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week for our Halloween show. See you then.
This year, the State Fair of Texas had about 2 million guests during its 24 days. However, NBC5 Dallas-Fort Worth reports that fair leaders recorded this was about 385,000 fewer visitors than last year. The fair ran from September 26th through to October 19th. The busiest day of the fair was Saturday, October 11th, during the Red River rivalry game featuring the Texas Longhorns against the Oklahoma Sooners. This lower attendance can be alarming for the community because the State Fair is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. They record reinvesting their proceeds into scholarships, community initiatives, and more.
Low-income residents in Texas were recently notified that the Supplemental Food Assistance and Nutrition Program, or SNAP, may be cut off. According to the Texas Tribune, SNAP will stop providing assistance to people in November if the ongoing government shutdown goes beyond October 27. If a resolution is not reached before then, $614 million will be withheld from 3.5 million people in Texas. 1.7 of those people are children. According to a letter written by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service to state agencies, the impact will be widespread across the nation. It said, quote, "If the current lapse in appropriations continue, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits for approximately 42 million individuals across the nation," end quote.
Still ahead, more nationwide headlines and an update on the government shutdown. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
The attorneys general of 19 states sued the Trump administration over the cancellation of funding for solar energy projects. According to AP News, the lawsuit argues that the termination of the program was in violation of, quote, "the law governing federal agencies and the constitutional separation of powers." The canceled program, which was called Solar for All, was introduced in 2022 as a means to make renewable energy accessible for low-income communities and funded nearly $7 billion worth of renewable energy efforts. The Guardian reported that Chris Mays, Arizona's Attorney General, stated that nearly 900,000 low-income households nationwide would be affected by the ending of this program, as energy bills will increase. The Environmental Protection Agency, the defendant in the lawsuit, has yet to comment on the pending litigation.
Last week, a farmers market was put on by Trinity Dining to close out Latinx Heritage Month. Newswave reporter Zane Clow got an inside look at this awesome event. Take a look.
Hello everyone, my name is Kristen Alderete. I'm the marketing director for Trinity Dining Services, and we're here for our Latinx Farmers Market. We have quite a few vendors joining us from just around the city, and they're here to celebrate the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, so be sure to come on out and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Daisy, and my mom and I, we own Charlotte Panaderia. We're a mother-daughter home bakery here in San Antonio, and we bake and sell Mexican pan dulce.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the owner of Will & Co. I make all handmade candles, room sprays. I have car fresheners. The premise of my business is that I try to make everything with all natural bases, and everything is going to be toxin free as well. So I have my candles that are made with a coconut wax base, essential oils, and phthalate free oils for the fragrance. And then I have room sprays with organic witch hazel as the base. I have my perfumes that have organic sugarcane alcohol as the base, and everything is handmade by me. I'm still pretty small base, so everything's made small batch, and I often rotate out the combinations of the scents I use, so feel free to check me out at wila.co studio. That's my Instagram. I have a link to my website as well as all the workshops that I do. Yeah, and that's me.
Okay, my name is Yari, and this is my business. It's handmade and hand-baked jewelry, and the name of the business is Amorcito by Yari G.
Hi, my name is Victoria Pina. I'm the owner of the Dulce Vida Boutique. Today we are here at Trinity University. With any purchase of clothing, you will get a free pair of earrings. That has been a hit for today. If you aren't able to make it, you can always check us out online at thedulcevida.com.
Hi, how's it going, guys? This is Jesse with Kayliana's Boutique. We're out here at the Trinity Latin Farmers Market. Here at Kayliana's Boutique, you'll find a number of items from our custom headbands, purse straps, all hand beaded, hand sequenced, down to our custom embroidered caps. Everything we do is customizable, so if you are interested in anything that you don't see here that we offer, we love to take care of those as well for you.
The government has been shut down for 24 days, which is now the second longest in U.S. history and the longest full shutdown, according to NPR. Recently, the Senate failed to advance a pair of measures that would have paid federal employees a day before more than 1 million workers missed a paycheck. The Republican-backed measure, named the Shutdown Fairness Act, would have paid essential workers such as troops, TSA agents, and federal law enforcement. In the Senate, the measure failed to receive 60 votes to pass. The Democrat-backed measure, named the True Shutdown Fairness Act, would have paid all federal workers and blocked mass layoffs from the Trump administration's Office of Management and Budget. The Republicans blocked this version from a vote. As the shutdown continues, many Republican lawmakers think that the Thanksgiving travel will push Democrats. Meanwhile, some Democrats think that open enrollment period for health plans on the Affordable Care Act marketplace, starting on November 1st, will push Republicans. However, top congressional leaders on both sides say they are no closer to agreeing to reopening the government.
Last Monday, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, suffered a blackout that lasted more than 12 hours. AWS is a cloud hosting provider that powers much of the internet. According to NBC News, a wide variety of apps were affected, including Snapchat, McDonald's, Roblox, United Airlines, T-Mobile, and Prime Video. Even the British government found that some of its internet services were not accessible. According to CNN, the estimated financial loss associated with this blackout is huge, with internet performance expert Mehdi Delclé claiming, quote, "The financial impact of this outage will easily reach to the hundreds of billions," end quote. Outages like these don't just cost money. They demonstrate how interconnected the internet and our world are. Experts are divided on what the outage should represent. According to ABC News, some experts believe that AWS making up 30% of the cloud services inevitably leads to more severe outages, and that breaking up companies into smaller ones would make the whole system less vulnerable. On the other side, some believe that these tech giants have vast enough resources to prevent most outages, and smaller companies would be too vulnerable to blackouts.
Coming up, your Trinity Sports update and details on the robbery at the Louvre. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back to another weekend of Tiger Sports. We missed an entire week of reporting due to our fall break last weekend, but that does not mean the Tigers took any time off. So let's get into it before we fall any further behind. Tiger Swim and Dive had their first official meet last weekend in a dominant performance at a dual meet hosted by Southwestern. The men's team dominated with 4 swimmers winning twice individually and 3 others winning singles races, and swept the relay races. Freshman Daniel Apostle won 4 individual races and was awarded SAA Swimmer of the Week. The women's team saw more success, winning all the individual races and relay races, including a podium sweep in the 100 breast and the 200 fly. Freshman Caitlin Fawn won gold in the 100 and 200 backstroke with times that would have gotten her 5th in both events at last year's SAA championship. And for this, the SAA awarded her Swimmer of the Week. Swim and Dive host a home meet next weekend on Halloween. In Florida, number 12 men's golf tied with Pomona Pitzer for 4th with a score of 862. The Tigers finished behind Maryard and Baylor, who won the tournament with a score of 847 from Wittenberg and Transylvania. Women's golf finished in a tie as well, with a 3-day total of 926. The Tigers tied with fellow SAA member Barry and kept their national number 14 ranking. As they head into the break, both teams returned to the greens in the spring. Number 11, women's tennis played in Georgia last weekend in the ITA Cup. Sophomore regional championship, Lucy Nardbeck lost to Jane Ling Chun Wong of Carnegie Mellon University on Thursday and began chasing the consolidation bracket. On Saturday, Lucy won against Kaya De Bruin of Gustavus Adolphus, but did not play in the next round. The doubles pair of Trinity Levy and Rosabella Andre won their first game of the weekend on Thursday in a tiebreaker over Rudenswal and Jaiswal of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institution. This win saw them advance to the quarterfinals, where they faced and lost to the duo of Shalev and Nagy of Occidental. After a tough battle that went to a super tiebreaker against Antavakis and Olsen of Emory University, the pair dropped out of the consolidation bracket. Thursday saw men's tennis enter the ITA Cup with a new national ranking of 21st. In the singles tournament, junior Kishan Kirsten lost to number 3 seed Ethan Green of Denison and was sent to the consolidation bracket. This was followed by the doubles pair of junior Ethan Flores and sophomore Rasheen Kamath, losing to the number 2 seed of Lewin Mersigan of UChicago in a super tiebreaker. Flores and Kamath bounced back the next day and beat Guerrero and Monteverde of Hamilton College. Kirsten saw less success and lost to Celeste of Amherst College. Kirsten then saw another difficult match the next day, forcing a third set against Kissick of Ithaca College, but ultimately fell short. The doubles team saw more success, winning their second game of the weekend over Kim and Bhupathi of Johns Hopkins University to finish their time in Georgia. Men's soccer has won both of the their conference games over the past 2 weekends, beating Center 5-0 and traveling to Tennessee to beat Sewanee at home. Ranked at number 15, the Trinity Tigers will stay at home until the SAA Championships in November. With only 4 games left, the Tigers hope to remain undefeated in conference play and have an overall record of 15-1. The Tigers face the Rhodes Lynx tonight on the Paul at 8 p.m. and the Millsaps Majors at 1:30 on Sunday. Women's soccer won their center matchup over the fall break, but tied with Sewanee in Tennessee last weekend. They face the Lynx tonight at 5:30 for the senior night and Majors at 11 on Sunday. At the Paul, the Lynx are currently number 1 in the SAA with 10 points, with the Tigers being number 3. However, the Tigers hold the historic upper hand going into the matchup with an all-time record of 21-3. Depending on how the next 4 games of the season goes for both teams, tonight's game could be the decider on whether Trinity receives a berth for the national tournament. After football's undefeated season was spoiled by conference rivals Berry, the Tigers bounced back this weekend with vengeance against Rhodes. The Tigers secured the shutout of the season, beating the Lynx 63-0. Defense held Rhodes to a total of 103 yards, forcing 12 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. But it wasn't just defense that dominated on the field, as the offense broke the school record with a total yardage of combined 743 yards on the Rhodes defense. Now ranked number 22, the Tigers face off against the Center College Colonels at their 12:30 home game this Saturday. Cross country had 2 races last weekend. Their main travel squad raced in Rock Island, Illinois, at the Augustana Interregional Invitational, while another batch of runners got to preview the SAA Conference Championship course at Southwestern. At the Augustana race, freshman Eli Bliss led the men's team to the finish line to a top 25 finish for the team. The women's team brought a major upset on the national rankings. Of the 40 teams competing, 11 were ranked in the top 25, with the Tigers just outside of the top 30. Led by senior Gianna Kina, who finished 22nd of the 349 finishers, the Tigers beat 2 top 25 teams and finished in 10th. This brings women's cross country to a national ranking of 28th. The Tigers, who raced at Southwestern, also brought good results, with the men finishing in 3rd and the women finishing 4th out of 11 teams. Last time we checked in on Trinity Volleyball, they were ranked number 11 and going into a home tournament against Center and Sewanee. Since then, they enjoyed a great deal of success, winning all 6 games, then including an upset win over number 9 Emory and another win over conference rival number 14 Berry. In that period, the Tigers won 18 sets, lost 2, and now are 17-3 in overall play and 10-0 in conference play. For their back-to-back away wins over ranked Emory and Berry, the SAA awarded senior Marissa Drange with her 2nd Offensive Player of the Week this season, and junior Lauren McCarthy, who is ranked number 10 nationally and number 4 in D3 for blocks per set, with Defensive Player of the Week. The Tigers, who are now ranked number 9 nationally, play Southwestern, who are number 3 in the conference and receiving votes nationally, on the Jenkins Court tonight at 6 p.m. With the regular season dying down for most of our Tiger teams, I think we can begin to make some predictions into the postseason. So here are my predictions for the postseason. Number 20 football is likely to win the conference and a first and probably second round playoffs win. Men's soccer is very likely to win their conference and make another deep run at the tournament. If women's soccer continues its current form, I would say that they are likely to win the SAA and also make a playoff appearance. Volleyball, in their form right now, should have the whole of D3 worried. An SAA championship is very likely. I would go so far as to say that they are one of the contenders for a national title, along with Laverne, ETBU, and Wisconsin Oshkosh. Men's cross country will have to make a step forward if they look to dethrone the defending 4 times SAA champions in Berry and another conference contender in Center. If women's cross country continues their form and even improves upon it, I would absolutely put them as a contender for the SAA championship. A regional contender in the West with CMS, Colorado College, Pomona-Pitzer, and Occidental. I would even say that a national berth is on the cards for them this year. That's all I have for this week. Be sure to root on your fellow Tigers, and I'll see you next weekend.
The United States and Australia have agreed to a rare earth minerals deal that, according to both nations, is worth $8.5 billion. According to AP News, the deal comes at a time when China is imposing strict rules on the export of its own rare earth minerals. The deal was made as an effort to limit the effects of China's actions. Both sides expressed their happiness with the deal, as Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said, quote, "I think taking away that arrow in the quiver of China to manipulate pricing is an absolute crucial first step in Australia and the West being able to develop critical minerals projects to meet our supply chain demands," end quote. U.S. President Donald Trump said, quote, "In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical minerals and rare earth that you won't know what to do with them," end quote. Traditionally, China has had a strange hold on rare earth minerals in the international market. The U.S. hopes that a partnership with Australia, which also has an abundance of these minerals, will help them get out from under China's thumb.
Despite recent ceasefire efforts in Gaza, last Sunday an attack threatened to disrupt the current truce. BBC reports that the Israeli Defense Force launched attacks across Gaza after 2 soldiers were killed in the city of Rafah. The soldiers' deaths were blamed on political organization Hamas, despite their response that they were not responsible and were not in contact with fighters in the area. These attacks shook up the Palestinian and Israeli communities, as at least 45 Palestinians were killed from the attacks. Even with the deadly attacks looming, the truce is still not considered to be derailed, and Israel's crossings with Gaza were opened on Monday. The U.S. President's special envoys, Stephen Witkoff and Jared Kushner, are also already back in the area, as it is clear that mediators must stay involved to keep the truce ongoing.
A spectacular daylight heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris on Sunday say thieves make off with priceless Napoleonic jewels. In a highly professional operation, 4 masked criminals used a vehicle-mounted extendable ladder to breach a second-floor balcony window just in half an hour after the museum opened. The intruders, armed with power tools, quickly gained entry to the Apollo Gallery, which houses France's historic collection of crown jewels. Officials confirmed 8 valuable pieces were stolen, including a necklace and earrings once belonging to Empress Marie-Louise and a diamond-dotted diadem from Empress Eugenie. The lightning-fast robbery was completed in just 7 minutes as alarms rang out, after which the thieves sped away on motorbikes. The heist has immediately reignited major discourse concerning the inadequate security measures across France's major museums. Police and a team of 60 investigators believe the meticulous raid was carried out by an experienced organized crime group. Justice Minister Gerald Darmanin admitted to security flaws, stating, quote, "What is certain is that we have failed. Since people were able to park a furniture hoist in the middle of Paris, get people up in it in several minutes to grab priceless jewelry, giving France a terrible image," end quote.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today.
Be sure to tune in next week at our usual airtime, Fridays at 3 p.m. And to all of our alumni here this weekend, welcome back to campus. Until next time, I'm Kiara Taylor.
And I'm Baden Russell. Have a great weekend.